Welcome to the unveiling of the third annual edition of the ASDA'A Burson-Marsteller Arab Youth Survey. Today's unveiling occurs at a historic moment in the region, and we hope that the insights we will share with you today will help observers of this region evaluate the dramatic changes taking place in the Middle East.
This is the third, as we heard, ASDA'A Burson-Marsteller Arab Youth Survey. And it comes at a time when everybody realized the need, actually, for understanding more. Understanding more about our youth.
Very interesting findings and very surprising findings. And that's one thing that we see in the results that Nicholas will show. The only predictable thing about the youth, really, and the result I've shown, is that they're unpredictable.
So first, we'll present you with the top 10 findings of our 2010 survey. In addition, what we have to share with you this morning is our top findings of an update to that survey. Because the survey took place in December of last year and January of this year, just previous to the start of events that both Joe and Bashar had mentioned, we felt it was important to go back to the field and ask further questions, sometimes the same questions, sometimes new questions, to gauge how the attitudes of young people had changed as a consequence of the unrest in the region. But that desire for democracy, that enduring desire among young people for their voices to be heard, is reflected in the 4 polls that we carried out.
Could you explain what do you mean by traditional values, or how do you define in the survey traditional values, more in terms of religion or more in terms of traditional values from the political point of view? Because this sounds to me a bit contradictory.
I think what you see is that traditional values are extremely important to young people across the 2010 survey, so across the 2,000 young people. What you then see is a shift in the last couple of months among young people in the 5 countries who say that traditional values mean somewhat less to them than they did earlier. So we don't see a significant shift overall away from traditional values, nor do we see a shift really away from the importance of family to young people.
It was amazing. I was not here to see the findings of last year's, so this year I think it was very comprehensive, very thorough, and more so I think it's very, very important at this time because of the recent events that unfolded in Egypt and Tunisia and basically the Arab world.
I thought it was excellent, and I thought it was fantastic that you went to the effort to update it with the extra 500 because that made it very, very relevant indeed.
It's very interesting. Certainly, especially must have taken a while must have been tough to go back and redo the survey after the riots, but I think that that makes it very prescient, very pointed, that it's come at just the right time.
I think you have done a very, very great job. This is something really we need. As you said, or the survey said, most of the people here in the country are youth. And as I said before, they are just like the engine of the region. Coming closer to them is a one step forward in the right direction.
Yes, I found the survey quite interesting because it reflects the current desire, what we see in the protests in the Maghreb and partly in the Arab Peninsula, among the young people for freedom, for democracy, but also to keep the traditional values. And at the same time, they want to work. They want to have a vision for their own future, for their family. What I found most interesting was the finding that liberal values are also on the rise. So some Western media say extremism's on the rise, and this survey proves that this is not true. They are not isolated. They want to be connected with the world. They want to be part of the global community, at the same time with their desire for prosperity in the future.